As you guys would know, we've had a look at a whole lot of Olight products over the last couple of years, and we are huge fans of Olight. But one of the most handy little products we've ever gotten off them has been the Obulb, the trusty Obulb, the original bad boy. It's been on many camping trips with us. Just a handy little lightweight light, you know, so easy to throw in your tank bag. We love them. What do Olight do best? They keep making things better. So they've now got, well, I've actually had a couple more revisions of the Obulb in the meantime, but the latest one right now is the Obulb Pro, and I just had to get my hands on this one and check it out. So we'll quickly have a look at what's in the box. Quick start instructions on the top. The Obulb itself, of course. You get a little self-adhesive magnetic metal coin that you can, of course the Obulb has a magnetic base, so you can attach this somewhere to stick the Obulb to it. Get a couple little googly eyes to stick on it if you've got kids or whatever. And of course the ever famous magnetic charge cord. So the new Obulb Pro is bigger and obviously a little bit heavier than the original Obulb. The original was 55 grams, this one's 105 grams. The original was 50 by 48 millimeters, this one is 65 by 58 millimeters, so a bit bigger. Obviously being bigger means it's got a bigger battery in it, so we're going to get more runtime out of it, which is good. The original Obulb, you know, on the bright setting, it only had two brightness settings for the white light. The brightest setting, which was 55 lumens, would only run for 3 hours before you had to recharge it. It did also have a low brightness setting, which was 3.5 lumens, which could run for 56 hours, but it wasn't sort of bright enough to cook by if you were camping or whatever. More sort of as a nightlight sort of thing. The new Obulb Pro goes up to a whopping 240 lumens, but unfortunately that will only last you for 2.5 hours before it needs to be recharged. But on the lowest setting, which is 4.5 lumens, will last you for 84 hours, so that's pretty good. But again, not very bright. Now, along with all the good things about the Obulb Pro, I do have a couple of gripes, which I'll get to later. Another big change with the Obulb Pro is we now have an Olight app to control it if you want to use the app. Basically, it uses Bluetooth and you can remotely switch it on and off as long as you're within range of it. And you can also tweak the brightness settings, but we'll get more into that a little bit later. So comparing these two guys, obviously there's the size difference as I've mentioned. This one, that's your high brightness setting that only goes for 3 hours. It does also have red, flashing red, and then back to your low setting. That brings me to my first gripe with the new Obulb Pro. Again, it's only a small thing, but you cannot adjust the brightness of the white light without getting the app on your phone. So it would have been nice if they had somehow included, you know, even just 2 or 3 different brightness modes that you could set by pressing the button. It only has one button, which, you know, you're kind of limited to what you can do with, but I mean, you can change the brightness on the old one without an app, so it would have been nice. The app's not a problem to install. It's a very small app and it's very simple to use, and once you set the brightness of that white light, it does save it. Basically that means you do have to go into the app to change the brightness of the white light, but generally I'll just set it to one brightness that suits us for camping or whatever, and I've set it to 50% brightness, which is that bright. It's actually a little bit brighter than the full brightness of the original Obulb, so that does us for, you know, camp cooking and stuff, no worries at all. And I have tested how long it lasts on 50%, and I got 9 hours solid straight with that, so that was pretty impressive. That's more than enough for 2 nights camping and cooking, probably more. Now, turning these off, that brings me to my other one small gripe with the Obulb Pro. I got so used to this one. You've got the button on the bottom right, it's also where you connect the magnetic charger, which I'll show you later, but that's the button. Press it once to turn it on, press it once to turn it off. I got so used to that. If you want to change mode, you turn it on with one press, then you hold it down and it cycles through. Of course it remembers where you're at, so you press it once to turn it off and it comes back to where you were. Easy, right? The new one, well, they've decided to change that. It's not a big problem, it just means I've got to get used to it again, because I would go to click it again to turn it off, but no, this time with the new one, that's how you cycle through the different modes. So one press while it's on, you cycle, and it's, you know, it's got all those fancy colors and shit, but I would rather it was the old way where you one press to turn on, one press to turn off, and then you hold it down to cycle through. Again, it's a small gripe, it's just something that you got to get used to. If this is going to be your first Obulb, then it won't matter to you because you'll just be used to how this is. But, you know, that's my complaints. So yeah, you've got the white light, which you can change the brightness of with the app, as I mentioned. Hold the button down to turn it back off. Click to turn it on. Click it again to go through the modes. So you've got red, green, and blue, of course, and the next one after that is a slow fade between all the colours of the rainbow, I guess. It's a pretty cool effect. Not sure how well the camera will pick up the colours there. Yeah, it's a pretty cool effect. The next mode is it just cycles through the colours rather than fading. I mean, this is all stuff to entertain the kids. It's not really useful for us, although I think, you know, if you make videos and stuff, it'd be pretty cool to have that, something like that in the background while you're filming. It's what all the YouTubers seem to do. You can also adjust the brightness of the colours too when you use the app. I guess one saving grace of the new button way to do things is whatever colour you're on, so say you're on green and then you hold it down to turn it off. If you want to go straight back to the white light, you just long press and it won't go back to green, it'll go straight to the white light, which is a cool feature. Again, it's, you know, it's just something that I've got to get used to. So basically pairing this with your app in the Bluetooth is very easy. Just read the instructions in the little manual that comes with it. I'm not going to go through all that stuff. We'll show you quickly the lockout mode though. As with most Olight torches and lights like this, they do have a lockout mode, so that stops it from being turned on accidentally if you're traveling with it or carrying it or whatever. So you just hold it down till the light comes on and then goes off, and then you release the button and now it's in lockout mode. So it won't turn on, like it'll just come on low power like that while the button's held down, but it won't actually switch on until you hold it down again. So you've got to hold it down until it goes bright and then you're back into normal mode. Now charging this thing, I've heard people complain about the magnetic charger, but honestly it's a great thing. If you buy a couple of Olight products, so you know we've got a few now, with all the rechargeable ones, you get one of these magnetic cables, USB cables with it. So I just leave them around the house. I've got one, I have one right here, you know, plugged into my PC that I use to charge my torches here or whatever. I've got one out in the shed that I use for charging my headlights and stuff that I use out in the garage. They all fit each other, you know. That'll charge that. That'll charge that one. Charges my little button 3, the M2R Pro. I've got one of these in my tank bag on my bike too, so you know if we're out camping and we happen to need to recharge a torch or an Obulb, you know, it's not that hard. And the fact that it's magnetic like that means you don't need to have a rubber cap plugging off a USB port or something if you had a regular USB style charging port. So it's waterproof and dustproof and everything like that. It's just, you know, got those contacts on the bottom. Boom. I love it. I think that this is one of the best features of all the Olight products. Okay, I will just quickly show you guys the app. So the Olight app. I'll put a link to the app in the description, guys, for both Android and Apple, I believe. So basically you can add as many Obulbs as you want. I'm sure that this app will be compatible with other products in the future. And you can turn them all on with one button and all off, or you can turn them on individually. Hopefully you guys can see that. So I'll basically just click on that. So once you're in there, obviously you've got a big power button there. Press that and it lights up. And you can see here there's a slider that we can adjust the brightness. So you can take it right down to 1%, which will give you the maximum runtime, obviously. and then you can crank it right up to its 240 lumen max, which is pretty bright. And also it'll show you on the left here what your battery percentage left is, and as you change the brightness and stuff, it'll show you how many hours and minutes you've got left of runtime depending on your current settings. So as I said, I haven't tested any of the other brightnesses, but on 50%, which is what I'll mostly use it on, 9 hours, so pretty good. So yeah, you can switch to the different modes and stuff as well. As I said, initially I wasn't real impressed with having to get the app to change the brightness of the white light, but once you've set it, you can forget it and uninstall the app if you don't want it anymore. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's a pretty good system and it works pretty well. Righto, before we wrap this up, one more quick tip I wanted to give you guys. Of course, you know that I've said the base of this is magnetic, so you can stick it to pretty much any metallic object, not aluminium of course. But also you can separately purchase this little carabiner style hook, O-hook I think they call it. If you check it out on the website, I'll put a link to that one as well. So that's a magnetic little hook that you can attach to the bottom of the Obulb, so that way you can hang it up in your tent or whatever, and you know, boom. Just one more little optional extra to think about. So yeah guys, there you have it. The mighty Obulb Pro. Cool little lights. They are both IPX7 waterproof of course, and drop proof from 1.5 meters, so they're pretty tough. The build quality on these is really good. You know, yeah. Another great product from Olight, guys. Make sure you check out the link in the description, as I said, and grab one of these on sale while the sale is on. Save some big bucks. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys on the next video. Cheers.